and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogwe in Lagos. Austin will join me much later on the show from London. But this is what the show looks like tonight. First, we'll be taking a look at Africa Cup of Nations. Of course, you know, it's just 4 days to go. And our focus today is going to be Group F, where you have 3 former champions in that group. Only Tanzania happens to be the team that have never won the Africa Cup of Nations in that particular group. Of course, we'll take a look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the warm-up match that was played on Monday. They have been making the whole social media everywhere buzzing simply because of the loss. And of course, you understand that Victor Boniface is out, Terry Murphy is in. We're going to be dissecting why Terry Murphy was choosing and his record so far this season. And of course, we'll also take a look at the other players in the team. And tonight, we understand that the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is hosting the Super Eagles of Nigeria to a dinner because they'll be flying out tomorrow 10 a.m. Nigerian time. Of course, in Nigeria, they'll be flying out from Nigeria to Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire before they take on Equatorial Guinea in their first game on a Sunday. There's so much to look forward to on the program. And of course, Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership resumes after 2 weeks break. And there's 2 games in Lagos. Yes, Onikon Stadium will be football first on Wednesday evening, a game at 1 p.m. and the other at 4 p.m. Danas FC and FC Robo happens to be the 2 teams that in Lagos. Both will be in action on Wednesday. And of course, we'll just take you back to the weekend. What happened in Nigeria Premier Football League games played. Remo Stars still topping. They had to wait till the dying moment of the game, injury time, before they could beat Sunshine Stars 2-0. And of course, they had to maintain that top spot. We'll also be taking a look at the game that will be played. That will be the rescheduled game for Wednesday. Rivers United and Plateau United. Plateau United will be hosting Rivers United. Remember, Rivers United, they played 12 games so far. They say have so many outstanding games, and that's why their position 17 is not something you want to look at. But hey, I understand that Austin is actually right now. Austin, you ready for us?
Sporty greetings to you, Cecilia, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Yeah. Still an action-packed world of sports, and just listening to you, talk about everything happening, got me into the mood to talk sports tonight. The Super Eagles of Nigeria. What a story. I don't really know what is going on. I cannot explain it. If the AFCON was to start tomorrow, I'll say let's not bother going if you go by the results that we've seen from the team. But hey, this is football where anything can happen. So what I want to say to followers of the Super Eagles, keep your support. Just keep your support. I know it's heartbreaking what we're seeing. It's painful, but let's just wait to see what the AFCON will give. The Nigeria Premier Football League, what a story. Stand up for Lobby Stars, Cecilia. I think they got the results of the week, going to beat Kwara United by 2-0. I want to meet the admin for Lobby Stars Twitter handle. That guy is such a vibe. You had to tell Kwara United that shoe gets size. So shout out to Lobby Stars for that win. Of course, you talked about the NPFL. It will get us talking. So much going on right here in England. Talks about the FA Cup, talks about the Premier League, talks about the possibility of the European Super League just crawling back into existence. So much going on, and that makes our world of sports an interesting, money-spinning, engaging, exciting world of sports, Cecilia.
And of course, a super packed Austin. And we'll not just be talking alone on the show. We'll be having a former player joining us on the program to actually dissect the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Kende, it's a Tuesday, right? Kende Idris is right here in the studio. Kende.
Happy New Year to you, Cecilia.
Okay, Happy New Year, yeah.
Happy New Year to Austin also, right happy there. And very fantastic day to be here. This is my show, preceding the Super Eagles, the Nations Cup starting and the Super Eagles first game. So I'm super excited, to share the studio. Then also I heard Jonathan Akpobore will be here.
Of course.
So, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But some things still hurts. And we want to see if there is any way we could profile maybe 1 or 2 solutions prior to the day we'll get to play our first game.
All right, Kenny Idris, of course, is here. Jonathan Akpobore will be joining us once he's ready. He will be telling us what we should be expecting from this crop of players. Do we have the hunger? Do we really have that? Because that's what these other players have, that hunger. Even when they lose, you could see the fact that This is something that is painful. You could be happy. Sometimes when you lose, you could be happy because you've seen how these players gave their all. I mean, talking about leaving everything on the field of play. He will be telling us what worked for them at that time and, of course, what this current crop of players need to do because we have so many superstars in the team. You can't have this talented squad and not winning so many. So when he's ready to join us, we will, of course, talk about that. But then let's quickly look at the warm-up games. You've been talking about the fact that it was just a warm-up game. He needed to look at the team simply because Boniface was injured. He needed to see how he can tweak that team to see how he can get the best out of it. But the backlash from everywhere, it's like, oh, you guys, you're going to be disappointing. What do you think? That warm-up game, it's just a warm-up game.
I think he particularly pointed out, his post-match, interview, talking about Jose Peseiro. He particularly pointed out Alassane Yusuf that replaced Wilfred Ndidi. He said this is the first time he's playing with these players. He has never had that chance. So, we had to see that. Then also some other players who came in, the adjustments and all. But one of the questions people asked is, even these players that look like now you're trying them in warm-up games, we've had warm-up games. We've had inconsequential qualifiers. When I mean consequential, I mean these are qualifiers we feel even our second team can get to handle.
You're referring to a whole nation as inconsequential.
What I mean is we're playing teams where I feel even the home-based players can execute.
Okay.
So, let's take the goalkeeping position. We have games where, friendlies, and then Uzoho had to be in goal for both. And we kept asking, these are games you could use Uzoho in one or Uzoho in the first half or 4 keepers in 4 halves as it stands. And then you do not do that. But in this warm-up game against Guinea, you used a goalkeeper that you've not been using. He has not worked with this defense line ever. And then you're talking of, other players and all of that. These are questions that made some persons, even those who do not live their life based on sports or football, start asking questions that if you're trying to now look into, some other players and how they can, how you can tweak the teams right about this time, we're talking 3-4 days to the Nations Cup, then that's a worry, really. You should have done that. By now, we should be talking of impact players, not even the first 11. Those players that we know, forget the first 11. Yes, they are good. But when you snap your fingers at the bench, this, there are times where even with the fans, the journalists, we can tell you the first set of substitutes. We can tell you, okay, if a team is defending very low, these are the substitutes that will come in. These are things that we didn't see, and it helps us not to know where the team really stands. Because as of today, Cecilia, you and I cannot tell you even our first 11. We can know the up front, but you say from the midfield down to the defense, who are the 4 defenders that we can say, come rain, come shine, these ones will start? It's a top question. The goalkeeping position, is it going to be Uzoho? So many people are asking questions. It looks like everything is everywhere. But as Nigerians, we end up being patriotic and wish our team all the very best. Not for anybody, but for me, for the boys.
Okay, I mean, when you talk about that squad, the first 11, and some people were saying maybe because we didn't have our first 11 playing that game, Austin, this is really where you come in here, that not our first 11 played that game. But if you look at, yes, goalkeeper Sterling Nwambali played the game. You had Troost Ekong, Chidozie Awanze, Bright Samuel, also Zaidu Sanusi, Kenneth Omeru, Al Hassan, of course, Yusuf, and Raphael Oyindika. These are the players who played the game. Now, if you have these players playing that game, would you say, I mean, I actually argued with a producer, Irene Ewoma, before he came on set concerning how he just used, French players to play the game. That's why we lost his testing. But if you have these big names and you can't beat Guinea, yes, it's a warm-up game, I think you're worried, right?
I used to be until these tune-up matches, because with tune-up matches, I would tell coaches, take it as light as possible, because you don't want your players getting injured. You don't want them picking up knocks. You don't want to, come out of a warm-up match and then you have so much regret. But Peseiro also mentioned that he used that game to try out new formations. I think he said he tried a 4-3-3, because as you mentioned, if you take a look at the players in the mix for the Super Eagles, they're all top professionals. They are players who, on a good day, we shouldn't have a problem, even if the first 11 isn't available. The problem we'll have with this team is that we cannot see progression. We cannot see coordination, no cohesion in midfield. They're not speaking the football language. We're tired of talking about back in the days, and then kids who were born in the early 2000s will start wondering what are we talking about when we start singing those lovely tunes about 1980 to the 90s to the early 2000s. So let's tone down the way we go back in time. Let's just face what we have now. You want to see a senior men's national team, one with reputation, as this crop of Super Eagles players spring passes from defense to midfield to the wings, probably back to midfield, and then connect it somehow to become goal. You want to see that level of football, and as a football fan, your passion starts boiling. As a supporter, you have more reasons to support the team. We're not seeing it. We are not seeing it. That's why football fans are worried. It's not about that, okay, if you win sometimes, they say, oh, you got the results. But now we're not even getting the results. You see our players struggle to just make two passes, and then boom, they send it inside for someone to chase. You cannot have the sort of fire forwards that you have, and you are not creative in midfield. Alex Iwobi needs to step up when he wears the green, white, green jersey. He has so much experience. Now, look, it's not even up to 28, and it's close to 100 games for the senior men's national team. You should start showing maturity. Joe Aribo needs to show us creativity in midfield. Frank Onyeka needs to let us know that he wants to really play for the Super Eagles. I'm calling out the midfielders now because I know back in the day, that is the heart of Nigeria's football. That is where we do everything. Because Jose Pizarro can only work with what he has. If he sees more quality, maybe whatever tactics is deploying or strategy might just work. But this should be a wake-up call. The qualifiers for the World Cup didn't start well. The friendlies before the qualifiers flew over the window. Tune-up matches to the AFCON now, giving us more headache. The Super Eagles should find a way to turn all of these bitter stories into sweet ending. That's when the fans will smile with them again, Cecilia.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. But I know this is not a Super Eagles coach. You can spend the whole time trying to dissect and understand, what Joseph Peseiro was trying to do, because I don't know how many coaches will try information when you have days to the Nations Cup. I believe by now we should have a perfect team. We should have a perfect formation. We should know our starting 11. And as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the stars that played this game, and you're thinking if these stars cannot, the front three, who are the front three? Austin, Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, and of course, Umar Sadiq. I understand that Sadiq was out for like 9 months, he came back from injury, and we were even surprised that he made the team. I thought Terry Murphy, who is actually coming in replacements as for Victor Boniface, should have, been the guy to make the list ahead of Sadiq Umar. But he is back in the squad now. But now, mention those front three. And then the back four that you mentioned, we don't even know the back four is going to use. We have Zaidu Sanusi that he used, Kenneth Emery, William Troost Ekong, Chidozie Awaze, Bright, Osayi Samuel were the guys who started the back four. I'm talking about the game,
the ones that played,
the ones that played, and then the substitutions that came in and everything. So you have that. Then you have another, mentioned Kevin Bassi. We have Olaino, Ojo, Shemi Logo. So you see these players, you're like, okay, how do you fit in? Where do you have the combination of the central backs? Yes, the full backs, we're okay, right? Yes. But the centre backs, that's where, what pairing are you going to...
Over the years, especially the pairing in the middle, the 5 and 6, if you want to, use numbers, coaches say they pair them so much that they even have them eat together, work together, live together, become everything together, because you need that telepathic understanding between your 5 and your 6, between these two. That is, when this one goes like this, the other one understands this is his weakness, this is his strength, I need to cover up here, I need to let him do his thing because this is his strength. I'm looking at that understanding. You see, when we were talking Oyinbo Wall, Leon Balogun and Trustekong, we had some kind of stability. Not because they are the best of defenders, but they had understanding. And that is where I feel there might be a problem. Now, when you have your telepathic understanding for your 5 and 6, the fullbacks, the right fullback, the left fullback, they now need to know these are the guys in the middle. Whoever is playing that position knows how to work with them. Okay, when I run like this, you cover me up that way. That is how you get your defense line that you can rely on. And then whichever kind of defense you have, Cecilia, if your goalkeeper is not inspiring confidence, do you know everything you worked for can go down the drain? Because whenever any defense line have it at the back of our mind that our goalkeeper is not that good, they start to shake. But the moment they know, go and ask the Sketches when they play, well, with Rufai, the Taribo West. They do things with confidence because they know, okay, even if I falter, I have a Peter Rufai who will cover me so well. These are the questions that, probably if I had a one-on-one with Jose Pesaro, I could ask, do you see this? Who are the players that you've seen this in? Now we're talking about 8 defenders already, and we don't even know which one will start. Not forgetting that we've seen fullbacks who have been used in the central, like Calvin Bassey. I've known Calvin Bassey to be a fullback, who is now for 3 games. So these are worries. And now I saw Wabili play, and some fans are chanting, "Bring back our Ozoho." So you can imagine where.
Some slack. This is first game.
I understand. I'm just saying. The reason why we said, Uzo, this, Uzo, is because we've seen him long enough. Uzo was at the World Cup. We felt he should have been a bigger goalkeeper at this time. So if we find some fault, it is just normal human thing to ask for more. And the fans asking for more is not because they hate Uzo. It's because this is the Nigerian Super Eagles. This is the biggest football franchise when it comes to the African terrain. We should be doing more.
We should be doing more, but this is the situation we find ourselves, and this is what it is, and this is what it's like. We're still waiting for Jonathan Kobore to join us on the program because he was supposed to break it down, this particular squad. I mean, we'll talk about fullbacks, centre-backs. We don't know who is starting. But when you can't even have consistent defenders, you can't tell anyone else that this is the defenders you're playing at the Nations Cup. Are we going to have another trials on... I don't know, on Sunday where we are playing Equatorial Guinea? We're going to have another formation, trying to have another formation since this doesn't work. Maybe he's going to go the way of 4-2-2 or 4-4-1 or whatever he wants to do against Equatorial Guinea.
No. Yeah. Against Equatorial Guinea, that's real business, Then no one is joking, Cecilia. The players understand the mission. We didn't force them to launch the Let's Do It Again campaign. I'm sure they know that they have a lot of work to do, particularly in winning back the loyalty of football fans in Nigeria. Look, I keep saying it over and over again. Aside these players being professionals, 80% of this team have been together with themselves for minimum of 4 years. If you play Kenneth Omeruo and William Trustekong at the center of defense, they've played with themselves for quite some time. If you play Awaziem and Omeruo, they know themselves. Awaziem and Calvin Bassey, they know themselves. Zaidu, maybe the guys on the wings, we can now start asking questions, if the 4 defense line actually have the connection that we need. But it goes beyond that. It's all about the tactical discipline of the coach. If we're playing the pressing game, everyone understands that it's forward play. If you want to make use of your wings, then bring Moses Simon and Samuel Chukwueze and know how to, tailor the game around them, that Victor Osimhen or any of the other strikers playing would just be having tap-ins when they finish doing the run. We saw a little bit of Moses Simon and what he can do if you tell him to go from the wings into the center. We saw it at the last AFCON. So these are quality players all over the park. I'm even glad that Terry Murphy has been called up for Victor Boniface. It's quite a shame that I won't get to see Victor Boniface and enjoy all of this form that he has been showing in Europe. That's football. Same with Wilfred Ndidi. Anything can happen. That's why you want to have a football team, a proper team, not a team that is tied around 1 or 2 players. I will say it again and again. Yes, you can single out Sadio Mane, but go and look at the depth of quality in that Teranga Lions squad. Yes. You can single out Mo Salah, go and look at the depth in quality in that Pharaohs of Egypt squad. Same with any other team that is doing well. You can see that with football, the team has to be solid. I know we need to go on a quick break now, and hopefully our guests that we're expecting will join us right after the break. But if he doesn't come, the show must go on. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
Yeah, welcome back from the break. Yes, we have Inside Niger Delta on our DSTV platform and every other platform. You're still watching Sport Tonight. I mean, we're talking behind the scene, when Austin called for the break, we're talking about Terence Murphy and Sadiq Umar, the kind of form they're in. And maybe the goals that Terence Murphy has scored, 6 goals you mentioned.
2 assists, 8 goals involvement. 6 goals, 2 assists.
Better record. And from 16 games. Yeah.
And of course, Sadiq Umar has been involved in 25 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. That's 3 games involvement. So 3 goals involvement.
So
in the first place, Nigerians are asking, is this a quota issue? Or, you get the best of legs to be here. So Terence Murphy eventually, his team almost felt offended that this guy should have made the squad even in the first instance. Yeah. But Boniface got injured and then he's called back when we had a chance to even add 2 more. CAF gave us 27. We had 25-man squad. So now he's here. And like Austin said, probably it is better late than never. He has brought another dynamism into how we can, shape out when it comes to the attack right there.
Okay, we'll wait Sunday, of course, build up to it. We'll still be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria build up to the game. But now let's take a look at Group F. Yes, we'll be dissecting Group F, the records the coaches of these teams are having, and of course, the games they will be playing. We'll start off with DR Congo. Yeah, DR Congo happens to be a team that we know in the 70s or 60s. The first time they won Nations Cup was 68, and then the next 1974 they won it twice, and since then they've not been able to win it. Yeah, we're on the crisis in that country and everything, but they've not been able to do that. But let's just take a look at the statistics of the coach of DR Congo. Match statistics for that, Sebastien Desabre of DR Congo. He was appointed in 2022, and so far he has played 12 matches and he has won 6, drawn 3, and he has lost 3. That's the statistics from the coach of DR Congo. Austin, you come in here looking at these statistics. Is this something that maybe the fans, DR Congo, the country, is this something they should be proud of? 12 matches, 6 wins, 3 draws, 3 draws and 3 losses. Good record? Yeah,
fair margins right there, particularly out of 12 games, you're winning 6, it's not bad for Coach Sebastien. But you see, DR Congo, we must commend what they've been doing with their football. That's a country that really loves football. That's a country that is investing in the grassroots. That's a country that is also investing in club football. That's a country that when they play the big boys, Cecilia, they step up. And that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do in their group. They are ranked 13th in the world. They're ranked 13th in Africa and 67th in the world. Now, if you want to look at that Africa ranking, there are teams that are in the top 10 that DR Congo will worry, So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I put DR Congo, Burkina Faso, Gambia, and to an extent, Benin Republic in the midst of potential banana skins to any of the big teams you want to play in Africa, and to an extent, Cape Verde also. So underrate them at your peril. I think with the coaches' record, what we're just trying to do is let people understand when the coaches join the team, their win ratio and what we should expect from them, going to the AFCON. But we know that statistics sometimes don't play football. Yeah. It's just good for analysis. And also with the coaches, they try to take the game away from them and put it to their players. And in this case, since it's the AFCON, it's about the country. So DR Congo is definitely one team to look forward to, Cecilia.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, I mean, you look at the country, the last time they won 68-74, and since then, it's not been good. They're making their 19th appearance at the Africa Cup of Nations. But then it's not been like roller coaster for DR Congo. Is it a country that Austin just mentioned that maybe these are, potential banana skin?
They are potential banana skin.
You agree with them?
Even in our history, let the time we're called Green Eagles, let those teams talk about Zaire. Because they won at Zaire in 1974. Yeah. They've been a proper problem. As good as the Super Eagles or, the Green Eagles were, Zaire was I grew up knowing a country called Zaire because of the problems they caused for our own, Green Eagles, who later became Super Eagles. So, like you said, war-torn, those issues, they had to, from Congo-Kinshasa to Zaire, return to Congo-DR and all of that. But Austin said that, and I took that, to the bank. Underrate them at your own peril. I think that's what Congo-DR is always about. They can upset anybody. Upset you at any time of the competition, any day, anytime. So I think it's a team you need to take proper look into. They might not win the AFCON, but you can't be the best team in the AFCON, and you'll go back to when Congo they beat you in that same competition.
Exactly right. But let's move over to Morocco. Yes, you know what Morocco has been doing in football in recent times. I mean, just take a look at what happened in December last year at the World Cup. Okay, it's last year. This is 2024. Yeah, in 2022, the Qatar World Cup, what the Moroccans did. And this coach right here, Walid Regragui, happens to be the man who has been doing so much for the Moroccan national team. 18 matches he has played since he was appointed in 2022. He has won 10 out of 18, drawing 5 and losing 3. If you look at Morocco, Austin, they've won the Africa Cup of Nations just once, and that was in 1976. And what have they done for CHAN? They've won CHAN twice, 2018, I think, 2018 and 2022. Yeah, they won CHAN twice, 2018 and 2022. That's the Nations Cup for players in Africa. Home-based players. Now, look at the statistics of that and also what they did at the World Cup. And they're bringing that same thing into the Africa Cup of Nations. They haven't changed a coach. The players are still there. I mean, we know what the goalkeeper can actually do. I mean, from winning Europa League with Sevilla, now he's playing in another big team. I mean, you look at that and you look at this coach, you look at the Moroccan team, you see a balanced team. And then you look at the group. Will Morocco, or rather, the Moroccan national team, are they favorites for this trophy? Not just getting out of the group, but for the trophy itself.
It's tough. It's tough, I think Morocco, they're still learning how to be dominant with African football. I watched them in that, I think it was a semi-final fixture against Egypt in Cameroon, and I saw that it got to some point fatigue actually stepped in. It's different when you watch these players on TV where the cameras are following the action. But when you watch them right there at the stadium, you're seeing things that people back home cannot see. I could tell that they were tired. It's really big on it because, they play football that is akin to what we see in Europe. And tactical discipline, they have it. I know they will come out of Group F on scratch, but hey, this is football where anything can happen. They've got DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania, and they are miles away compared to those teams. They are ranked number 1 in Africa. They are 13th in the world. They have a strong team. They've kept Coach Walid, which is fantastic. In fact, Cecilia, with everything they've done, they are still investing. What we should start saying that in the last 4 years, why Moroccan football is shining today is because of the investment that the king put into football. They made it a priority from the grassroots to women's football to the Atlas Lions. And look at the way they've been winning. It's what you sow, you reap. So Morocco, they made it to the semis at the last edition. I think they can still make it to the semis. And that puts them in your bracket as favorites to win it. But I don't really think they've understood African football well enough for me to come out now with the confidence to say Morocco can go all the way to win it. But we'll see. We'll see, Cecilia.
A country that have won China twice, he said they don't understand African football.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think I would agree with Austin on that. I think the only North African country who got into the whole party, the AFCON party late. The AFCON started in 57. Yeah. They joined up in 72. But since they joined up in 72...
They thought they were Europeans.
Yeah. Since they joined up in 72, they eclipsed everything all other North African countries have been able to do. They came out gun blazing. 4 years later, they won the AFCON, and then they closed shop.
That was it.
Up until, again, in 2004, when they became runners-up. And I think if there is one motivation Morocco have got going into this Nations Cup, is the fact that they've been a proper disappointment when it comes to the AFCON. They are too much of a good team to have just won one and have one runner-up, medals right there. So if you look at, and if you're looking for any motivation by the coach, the Moroccans and all of that, is the fact that we've been disappointing if the fans are to talk about the team. So with the build-up, you just mentioned the CHAN, they were at the World Cup, the players are fantastic, you can mention names scattered everywhere around the world. Yeah. I think Morocco are in that space for me as one of the favorites to win this competition. But they seem like they might just be falling short because they've not learnt enough. I'll wait and see if they've learnt now.
Okay, we'll see what they can offer. But another team we'll be taking a look at happens to be the Tanzania national team. They've been to the Africa Cup of Nations just 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. In 1980, they were crashed at the group stage. And, of course, 2019 also exited at the group stage. That's the team we'll be looking at right now. They're being coached by Adel Amarouche. I mean, he's the coach appointed just 2023, and he has played 8 matches, winning 3, drawing 2, and he lost 3. This stats, there's no confidence in these statistics you're seeing right here. But hey, Austin, over to you.
and again, no disrespect to Tanzania. I mean, they can only just come to this AFCON and try to tell us the kind of story Gambia told us at the last edition, the kind of story Sierra Leone told us at the last edition, the kind of story Equatorial Guinea told us. It's beyond Coach Adel. It's relatively new to the team. It's trying to, give them some prominence, some relevance in Africa. And this is a good start, qualifying for the AFCON and going out there to compete in a very, tricky group. If you take Morocco out, and as I've mentioned earlier, DR Congo, Tanzania and Zambia can cancel out each other. I say this, and I said this before, and I'm saying it again. Yes, if you come and tell me, Austin, in terms of preference, I'll just say Morocco and DR Congo. But if I put on my hat as a journalist and one who loves oddity, I'm going to tell you anything can happen in Group F, because Tanzania, DR Congo, and Zambia, I think, missed out of the last edition. And so they don't have much of mentions to talk about. So I want to take this analysis out of Coach Adel and dump it on Tanzania and see if they can actually give us a beautiful story to tell at the AFCON. And, that's what it's all about. African football is getting to a stage now where we want to come out and say, wow, did you see what happened? I love what Comoros did to Ghana at the last edition. Can we see more? Tanzania, can you get us talking? I'm here, I'm waiting, Cecilia.
Yeah, I want to hear a beautiful story. I know, I love the fact that you love oddities, and when it happens, you're always very happy. But then, are we going to be seeing that in that Group F? We having former champions, only one team. I mean, Tanzania happens to be, well, you would say, the Whipping Boys. And this record right here
looks like
doesn't inspire confidence at all. Yeah.
This is the record that you get to be someone, a team who qualifies, not the team who goes into the competition to do so well. But, this is football. Anything can happen. So I think for Tanzania, the only thing that will be taken into this AFCON is dreams. Let's dream and let's see however we can achieve that dream. Morocco did it at the last World Cup. The only thing everybody thought, okay, Morocco could get out of the group stage, but they did, and they went all the way to be in the final 4, at the World Cup. So maybe for that reason, we wouldn't write any team of Tanzania included. So let's just see where Tanzania will go.
I'll see where they go. Remember when Emmanuel Amunike qualified there for the Nations Cup? It was really beautiful in that 2019. But then after he was asked to go, they didn't qualify for the next one. But now they're back again. We'll see where they will go. Finally, on this group, that's where you have Zambia, yes, they've also won the Nations Cup just once. But then if you look at the dominance in COSAFA, that's where you ask questions, because this is a team to look out for. But let's take a look at the statistics. They've been coached by Avram Grant. You know this man, I mean, from Ghana. I don't know. The only country he hasn't coached should be Nigeria, right? He has coached most of the countries in Africa. But right now, he's the coach of... the last coach, it was Black Stars before he came here, where he said, was he... maybe their mothers don't give birth to good strikers anymore. Okay, sorry for another day. But then he was appointed in 2022. He's played 14 matches. He's won 9. Yes, this is statistics you want to look at when you're going into a tournament like this. The biggest in Africa. He's drawn just 1 and he has lost 4. Now, Zambia, we know their story, how the plane crash that happened before the players. In spite of that, they were inspired by that tragic incident. They went on to win the Nations Cup in 2012. But after that, they've not been able to win it, and that's the only time they've won it. Appearances, I mean, and if you look at COSAFA, as I mentioned earlier, Kehinde here, I mean, 1997, 98, 2006, 2013, 2022, 2023, 2019. The only gap here from 2019 they didn't have because of COVID. Yeah. But 2019 they won it, COVID happens. 2022 they came back, they won. 2023 they have it. COSAFA, you know, is Southern African region where you have South Africa. They are the most successful. Yeah. But they've not been able to translate that to the Africa Cup of Nations. Will this be their year, judging from what they've been able to do in the past 3 years in COSAFA?
I think some people still feel the Super Eagles, you know, would have been a bigger brother when they had that tragedy in 1994 and say, okay, just give them the trophy. Just, you know, let them be, you know, just to, you know. But we won that, and they went on with their struggles, and in 2012, they won the one and only. But if you look at Zambia from the AFCON they've won, then you'll be doing a huge injustice to that team. I think the Zambian national team is one of those teams that should be well respected on the African terrain. They're going to competition, be one of the, not one of the favorites to win, but one of those top teams you would always talk about. No matter how, you know, the way they wobble and fumble into getting into the competition, you must always give respect whenever you talk about Zambia. And I think that's the same thing. And you just mentioned the statistics. Avram Grant, 9 wins from 14 games. You don't want to know what the draw or the losses are, but 9 wins from 14 games, I think that's massive. That's fantastic. Way into the 70%, you know, mark. So I think Zambia is coming again to have that huge cry. But, you know, when you have groups like this where banana peels are everywhere, trust me, the Congo, the Tanzania, these teams are teams that, you know, they can just shock you, and then you get to lose your spot in going to the next phase. But I feel with what I'm seeing with this Zambian national team, if they get into the knockout round, I think we'll start to have a feel of what this team is really about.
What they can do. Yeah. Austin, we'll wrap it up. You wrap up the Zambia team for us before we go to the Women's League.
Yeah, you know, Avram Grant comes with a lot of experience. I keep telling people, if you want to be a good coach, you must have player management 100%. And that's why you can see the statistics right there. Zambia is one team that understands the physicality of African football. That's what I was trying to tell you about Morocco. It goes beyond the CHAN. Now, this is senior men's football. It is kick-leg football. It is kick and run. It is gidigbo. You know, so Zambia knows that. And Morocco just needs to go and draw maybe their first game, and they'll start asking questions from that Group F, you know. So Avram Grant and Zambia, let's see what they can do. They've been, you know, basing in action for quite some time, and I think Zambia has got what it takes to really get us stuck in Sicilia. And again, if you see what they are doing for their women's football, you will know they mean business.
You do mean business. We'll see. That's Group F for you. And, of course, the Africa Cup of Nations will be starting on a Saturday. It's 4 days to go. We'll rest it here and go to the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership, the top flight of Nigerian women's football in Nigeria. And, of course, match day 7 is going to get us talking. After 2 weeks break, they will not break during the Christmas season. 10th tomorrow, that's when the league is resuming. Now, the games from Group A, you have Niger Rattles will be hosting Confluence Quiz in Abuja. Danas Ladies hosting Abia Angels right here in Lagos at the Lincoln Stadium. Adamawa Queens and Heartland, they'll meet in action. Royal Queens and Nasarawa Mason. Royal Queens, of course, bottom of that group. Nasarawa Amazons second, tied on same point with Heartland, who leads the Group A. Let's move over to the games for Group B. FC Robo in Lagos hosting Rivers Angels at 4 p.m. Onikon Stadium. Delta Queens hosting Sunshine Queens, who happens to be bottom of the Group B. Bayelsa Queens and Edo Queens will also be in action. Edo Queens are topping the league after 6 games. They have 12 points. And, of course, Remo Stars Ladies and Ekiti Queens will also be in action. These are the games to look forward to. Ekende Idris, quickly, we have 2 big games in Lagos. One big one, FC Robo, Rivers Angels, that rivalry. I remember the last game I watched when they were still playing at the practice pitch at the National Stadium in Lagos, Surulere. It was after the game, the players, the coaches, the referees, it was something else. That rivalry, I don't know why they have so much rivalry. Because if you look at FC Robo, when did it start? And then Rivers Angels, perennial champions, we will say, until Delta Queens and Bayelsa came up and displaced them.
I think the rivalry, another angle is the fact that cross-carpeting of players.
Yes.
Exactly. There is too much connect. Aziza Toshoala will come to mind so easily, So you have this move from here, Gift Monday also, a touch of all of those. But you can't take it away from top teams. They go all out, You see the passion, you see the zeal, you see the grit. They want to give everything on match day and leave everything right there, only to get out 3 points that matters. Like they say, do everything in the coffers of the law. Nothing else outside there. So we're looking forward to having that. Then also, both teams are not having a great season yet. So this should be, that angle should be another angle that will make us see a very good game. Because this might be games that you play and it turns around the entire fortune of your season. Rivers Angel, if they get an away win, I think that will be massive for Robo Queens. Hey, beating Rivers Angels, whether you're home or away, is always huge. And you talked about, all other top teams. Group B has all of that. But Remo versus Ekiti, I think this is the match of the newcomers. Yes, but they've been able to, one way or the other, hold their own here and there. Ekiti getting some draws and all. For Remo Stars, I think they are beginning to show signs that they are a team that is well invested in. And I want to see them against, Ekiti Queens right there. So, Bayelsa Queens against Edo Queens, that's another top game. And you go to Delta Queens versus Sunshine, another, fantastic football match to be seen. For Delta Queens, they need to start their season also. There are times they will blow up and then come down and all. So, Lagos would also have Danas. Danas look like, okay, even in Lagos, Remo Stars, Robo Queens, might be the Queens, but Danas are showing signs that they can steal the show off Robo Queens this season. So I want to see them play. But I also marked Niger Rattles versus Confluence Queen, where Niger Rattles, I will tell you, they are one of the teams that is appreciative of the break that we went. They need to get their house in order. It's not been a good start to the 6 games they play. So probably this is the time we'll see them return to playing good games. I respect Olowo Okere so much, the coach. And then they have a massive player in that team who is a coach coordinator. Anything you want to call her, she is talking about the maybe. So I want to see how they handle their own and then enjoy all other games in the NPFL.
If they've been able to put their house together during the break, or they were just enjoying the Christmas rice and the New Year rice during break. Well, Austin, let's quickly go to the NPFL because we have to go. The games are played over the weekend. So many interesting games. I don't know where you're going to start up from. Is it from Better Insurance on Saturday game that they defeated Rangers by 2-0, or is it the Remo Stars game that, at the death, that's when Remo Stars understand that, yes, they need to win this and remain at the top. Well, I'll just quickly run this. Remo Stars got Sunshine Stars and they're 2-0. Kwara and Lobby Stars, you said this is the game for you. 2-0 away from Oshu get size, according to you. Enyimba and Sporting Lagos, Enyimba between Sporting Lagos 2-0. Gombe United and Rivers United 1-1. This team, I think they're not ready. Aqua United and Abia Warriors, yes, 3-1. I know Austin will be happy with this. Plateau and Canopilas winning at Niger Tornadoes and Heartland 3-2. Shooting Stars and Bayelsa United ended 1-0 in favor, of course, of the home team. That's the match day 7. So, Austin, for us, which one really gets you talking?
Aqua United got me smiling again. It was a good relief. I'm just hoping they keep the momentum. I love what Lobby Stars did to Kwara United. And if you've been hearing me on this show, I keep saying Kwara United is one team that I like. I think they are decent. I like the Remo Stars results because they understand they need to still be on top, and they went on to win. I think Bendel Insurance did just enough against Rangers. It's the NPFL where, if you blink, you start asking questions. So fantastic results over the weekend. We just hope that we'll continue to see beautiful, beautiful football. And of course, Aimba still staying relevant. That's it, Cecilia. I think we're running out of time. So we could just end the show tonight. I would have loved to go on and on about the NPFL because that's our own football. But you know what? We'll do it again when we come on Thursday. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonak, and in everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Well, Ken Idris, it was wonderful having you again on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's amazing. Starting the new year on a fantastic note. So looking forward to more shows.
Yeah, looking forward to so much more. But we'll just leave it with pictures that are coming from Remo Stars. That game against our Sunshine Stars ending 2-0 on match day 16. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night rest.
5 minutes left of the 90. Remo Stars again pushing for the opener in the Southwest Derby. Sadiq Ismaili with his delicate cross found his own teammate in the box who laid it to Dayojo. Dayojo taking a one-time shot would only shoot wide. Nekeme Okon benefited from a scramble in the box off a corner kick to stab him the first goal for the Sky Blue Stars. 1-0 to Remo Stars, and again the fans in absolute bedlam. Not done yet. Anekeme Okon, after a beautiful play from Remo Stars and a flick on from Sikuralimi, drew home the second goal of the evening. If the first goal was good enough, how about this for a second goal of a beautiful combinational movement from the Sky Blue Stars team? Sikuralimi with an assist for Anekeme Okon's fourth goal of the season and a brace in a Southwest Derby. 2-0 to Remo Stars. The Southwest King are at it again. Referee haven't seen enough of an exciting 100 minutes of football. Called play to a halt for 3 points for the coach Daniel Ogmodade led side and top of the table.